Albert Fish, Top 10 Real-Life Boogeyman. Welcome, true crime enthusiasts. Prepare for a journey into the darkest depths of human depravity as we explore the life of Albert Fish, dubbed the real-life Boogeyman. Imagine the horror of discovering that a seemingly ordinary person could harbor such malevolent secrets. In this chilling countdown, we will delve into the top 10 most terrifying facts about Albert Fish, from 10 to 1. Brace yourselves for a tale of unimaginable evil that will haunt your thoughts long after the story ends. Number 10. Innocuous beginnings. The early life of Albert Fish. Albert Fish, born Hamilton Howard Fish in 1870, appeared to have a relatively ordinary start in life. What if a child's innocence could mask a future filled with unimaginable horrors? Raised in a family with a history of mental illness, Fish's early years were marked by trauma and neglect. Sent to an orphanage after his father's death, he endured physical and emotional abuse that would leave deep scars on his psyche. This environment of cruelty and suffering sowed the seeds for the monstrous behavior that would later emerge. The seemingly benign childhood of Albert Fish hides a prelude to his future atrocities, making one ponder the impact of early life experiences on the human mind. His early life serves as a grim reminder of how formative years can shape one's future, sometimes leading to unthinkable outcomes. Number 9. The deceptive facade, Fish's public persona. Despite his later notoriety, Albert Fish managed to maintain a facade of normalcy for much of his life. What if the most horrific monsters were those who walked among us unnoticed? Fish was a husband and father, working various jobs and presenting himself as a benign, albeit eccentric, old man. His unassuming appearance allowed him to blend into society, hiding the dark compulsions that lurked beneath the surface. This ability to deceive those around him only made his crimes more terrifying, as it revealed the horrifying potential for evil to exist in plain sight. Fish's dual life is a chilling reminder of the masks that people can wear, concealing their true nature from the world. The contrast between his public persona and private monstrosity is a testament to the duality of human nature. Number 8. The descent into darkness. Early signs of depravity. The early signs of Fish's deviant behavior began to surface in his adult years. What if the small, disturbing habits we ignore in people could hint at a much darker truth? Fish developed a fascination with pain and suffering, engaging in self-harm and deriving pleasure from his own agony. He also began experimenting with sadomasochistic practices, further indulging his twisted desires. These initial acts of deviance were mere precursors to the horrific crimes he would eventually commit. The descent into darkness was gradual but relentless, as Fish's perverse impulses grew stronger and more uncontrollable. These early signs were ominous indicators of the monstrous acts that were yet to come. They reflect how unchecked deviant behavior can escalate into something far more sinister. Number 7. The mask slips, the first known victim. Albert Fish's facade began to crack with the disappearance of 10-year-old Grace Budd in 1928. What if a single act of evil could shatter the illusion of safety and normalcy forever? Fish had convinced Grace's parents that he intended to take her to a birthday party, only to lure her to an abandoned house where he committed unspeakable acts. This heinous crime marked the beginning of his transformation from a shadowy figure to a known predator. The disappearance of Grace Budd sent shockwaves through the community, unveiling the monster behind the mask and leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. This event was the catalyst that brought Fish's true nature into the light. The innocence lost with Grace's disappearance symbolizes the awakening to a world filled with hidden dangers. Number 6. A twisted confession, the letter to Grace's family. In an act of unfathomable cruelty, Fish sent a letter to Grace Budd's family detailing her gruesome fate. What if the words of a killer could haunt you more than the acts themselves? The letter, filled with graphic and disturbing details, revealed the extent of Fish's sadistic pleasure in his crimes. It provided a horrifying glimpse into his mind, showcasing his complete lack of remorse and his twisted satisfaction in tormenting his victims' families. This confession, intended to further traumatize those left behind, highlighted Fish's depravity and his desire to inflict psychological pain. The letter remains one of the most chilling documents in the history of true crime, a testament to the depths of human evil. Its contents are a stark reminder of the terror one person's mind can harbour and act upon. Number 5. The capture. The Boogeyman unveiled. The meticulous efforts of law enforcement finally led to Fish's capture in 1934. What if the relentless pursuit of justice could bring even the most elusive predators to light? After years of investigation, a breakthrough came when the letter to Grace Budd's family was traced back to Fish. His arrest ended a reign of terror that had haunted numerous families and communities. The capture of Albert Fish was a moment of relief for many, but also one of horror as the full extent of his crimes began to surface. The unveiling of the Boogeyman, a man who had evaded detection for so long, was a pivotal moment in the history of criminal justice. It demonstrated the tenacity and dedication required to bring such a monstrous figure to justice. Number 4. The horrific revelations, Fish's other victims. As Fish's crimes came to light, it became apparent that Grace Budd was not his only victim. What if the discovery of one crime revealed a tapestry of unspeakable horror? Investigators uncovered a trail of missing children and unsolved murders that pointed to Fish's involvement. His confessions and the evidence gathered painted a picture of a man who had preyed upon the most vulnerable with cold-blooded precision. The scope of Fish's atrocities was staggering, revealing a serial killer whose depravity knew no bounds. The horrific revelations about Fish's other victims highlighted the true scale of his evil, leaving a lasting scar on the collective psyche. Each new discovery added to the chilling portrait of a man whose evil seemed limitless. Number 3. The trial, confronting the monster. Fish's trial was a spectacle that captivated the nation, as the public confronted the monstrous reality of his actions. What if the courtroom became a stage for the darkest chapters of human nature to unfold? The trial brought to light the full extent of Fish's insanity and his twisted motivations. Despite his clear mental illness, Fish was deemed fit to stand trial and was ultimately convicted of his crimes. The proceedings were a harrowing experience for all involved, as graphic details of his acts were presented in excruciating detail. The trial of Albert Fish was not just a legal battle, but a profound confrontation with the nature of evil itself. It served as a sobering reminder of the depths of human depravity and the resilience of those seeking justice. Number 2. The execution, the end of the Boogeyman. Albert Fish was executed by electric chair in 1936, bringing an end to his reign of terror. What if the final moments of a monster could bring closure to those haunted by his crimes? His execution was seen as justice served, a necessary act to ensure he could never harm another innocent soul. For the families of his victims, it provided a semblance of closure, although the scars left by his actions would never fully heal. Fish's death marked the end of one of the most terrifying chapters in criminal history, a moment that was both a relief and a somber reminder of the evil that had once walked among us. The execution of Albert Fish symbolized the ultimate triumph of justice over unspeakable horror. It was a moment that punctuated the end of an era of terror, offering a chance for healing. Number 1. The legacy. Lessons from a nightmare. The story of Albert Fish leaves behind a legacy that continues to fascinate and horrify. What if the lessons learned from a nightmare could prevent future horrors? His case has been studied extensively by criminologists, psychologists, and true crime enthusiasts, offering insights into the nature of psychopathy and the factors that contribute to such extreme behavior. Fish's life and crime serve as a grim reminder of the potential for evil within the human soul and the importance of vigilance and justice. The legacy of Albert Fish is one that prompts reflection on the darkest aspects of humanity, urging society to remain vigilant in the face of unimaginable horror. His story underscores the critical importance of mental health awareness and the need for a vigilant society to prevent similar horrors. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey through the life of Albert Fish. If you found this exploration into the mind of a real-life monster captivating, don't forget to like and subscribe.